business. It sounds horrible, but that's, in other words, true or not. I'm not even talking about veracity here. I'm talking about problem issues that come up that need to be dealt with.
That's exactly what my point was this morning on this, was that name a company or a celebrity or any rich entity that doesn't have a team of lawyers that take care of uh, lawsuits, whether it be, like this with Stormy Daniels deal that Cohen paid her off and Trump reimbursed her. Trump has over, 500 businesses. And for him to sit down and go through each one, micromanaging every little lawsuit that comes across on one of his businesses or organizations, it would be all day long. I mean, anytime there's a rich man or a rich business, there's always someone out there willing to sue them for one reason or another. And so to me, it's all very possible that Trump didn't know anything about it. I'm sure these lawyers, especially Cohen, since he was a trusted attorney of Trump's for decades, settled a lot of things that Trump didn't know about till later because they were frivolous or stupid or, just not worth the time to go and litigate it. So I don't think Giuliani lied, and I don't think the president lied. I think Cohen took it upon himself. He probably has done it many, many times before. Went ahead and settled some silly little lawsuit, gave the bitch $130K to go away. And, as far as them suing her for, or her suing Trump for defamation of character, you can look on Twitter and find this woman in sexual acts with random men for money. So her to claim a defamation of character is almost laughable in itself. I mean, if she's had as many dicks stuck in her as a porcupine has quills, she has a revolving door on that little twat of hers anyway, for cash. And secondly, I don't think Trump had an affair with her. I think the letter that she signed saying that the affair never took place, she was just like, to me, like the woman who claimed she was scolded by McDonald's hot coffee between her legs and walked away with $500,000. Big companies don't see litigation as fight everything that comes along. Most of the time, it's just pay it off and make it go away because it's simpler. It's easy to make it go away. I mean, why fight every little person that comes up and wants to sue a government or a business or a celebrity? It's just not worth the time and effort to spend thousands of dollars putting together a case to win it, but ultimately lose it because you've had to spend so much money defending yourself. So, I've seen it done. Non-disclosures is done every day in the business world. It's just part of the business. And secondly, I have to be honest about this. And I know this is going to be crude because this is an adult content here. And so if your kids are watching this, make them leave the room. Trump is very meticulous and he's very clean. And you notice it in his wife, in his children, in his former wife, in his home, in his car, in his Oval Office. He is meticulously clean. So for him to have sex, and Stormy said this, that they didn't use a condom. Now, I caught that because in the day and age that this would have went down, AIDS was running rapid in America. And I don't see President Trump, I'm just going to say it, sticking his dick in a porno queen who's had more dicks in her than a porcupine has quills. I think maybe if anything happened at all, he probably got a blowjob from her, because that would have been a lot safer than sticking his, penis into, well, let's say it, a paid-for whore. And secondly, he was married to Melania for about 4 years, or, yeah, well, I guess she just had the baby. Why would he want hamburger and risk a venereal disease when he has a a beauty queen at home. I mean, it's like eating hamburger when you got steak. So I don't think he had sex with her at all. I think it was made up, and I think her letter proves that. And the fact that her attorney has been on CNN 57 times making threats. He's actually a male version of Gloria Allred, an ambulance chaser. And it was, even if it did happen, okay, let's just say it for the sake of argument, it was consensual. It wasn't rape, like with Billy Bob Clinton. And it wasn't paid off with taxpayers' dollars or campaign funds, like the Democrats have had to throw out of Congress members, Al Franken and Connolly and all those other little guys. You got Mendez, you know, who likes Brazilian prostitutes. And the Democrat women came out not too long ago. Oh, we're gonna blow the whistle on taxpayer dollars that are being paid out for sexual harassment by our congressmen. But they didn't do it, did they? And they are not naming any more of them, are they? So those Democrat women, Kamala Harris and Gillibrand and all those Me Too movement stupid bitches, they haven't done shit, have they? Okay, but they're nailing Trump on a consensual thing and trying to make it sound like he used campaign money. That's going to blow up in their face again. The guy was on monthly payments for years, kept his retainers. So I'm sure he had the ability to make decisions without having to contact Trump every 5 minutes. And this is going to blow up in their faces. And the media today at the White House was just, oh, they were all over this like steak on shit. But I didn't hear one of them run a story about the congressmen that have been paying off whistleblowers for years in the Democrat Party with your tax dollars. Notice that? This will be another, what do you call it, boondoggle and a nothing burger. So I'm not going to get too excited about it. And secondly, today was another big revelation for me. If you notice, Obama and Hillary and all those guys are pretty quiet right now. They're worried because this Mueller investigation, it went from the Russian collusion to now it's obstruction of justice. And we know who obstructed justice. It was the Democrat Party and their members and their congressmen and their FBI and their DOJ guys. If you had to, and I hope Trump does this, I hope he exposes all of them. And I hope this all comes out right when we're doing November. 33 Democrat Congress seats up, 435 House seats are up. We need to give President Trump one more trip to the polls. And that means we need to get out there and vote this November. And we need to get a super majority. You want to cut these rhinos' dicks off? This is how you do it. You make a super majority. You take as many of those seats as you possibly can get with good guys. And then it doesn't matter because the rhinos will be up in 2020 for election. And we can get rid of their asses then. But right now, we can get rid of 33 dirty Democrat Congress seats by taking over half of them. And we can make a super majority. Then it doesn't matter who votes no. We'll still always have the vote for the next 4 years, 3.5 years. And that's what the Democrats are worried about, that we're going to end up with a super majority because America's doing good. Jobs are coming back. Taxes have been lowered. What are they going to run on? They have nothing to run on. I mean, they voted against tax cuts for us. They voted to keep Obamacare in place, which is bankrupting the country. They're so far left, they're socialists now. They want the government to raise you from cradle to grave and then have to say on everything that you do. And America's waking up, even though Facebook is putting us in jail for our conservative views and Twitter is trying to keep us from getting out there. And the media has become the Democrats' platform to voice all their lies, their corruption, their crooks, their embezzling of taxpayer monies. Everything leads back to their door. And if we don't take advantage of this and really get out and vote in November, Just like we did for Trump, we need to do this one more time. And then next election in 2020, we can come out and get rid of the Democrats. And I mean, or the rhinos, the guys like McCain and Corker and Flake and, Senator Leahy and Nadler and all of these guys. We can get rid of a bunch of them in 2020 and really have taken back America. And this is important. So, when you open your browser in the morning and you see 20 stories by mainstream media, don't even click on them. That's how they make their money. Let's hit them in their pocketbook. Don't buy their papers. Don't read their articles. If you want to know the truth, when something is out there, wait 3 or 4 days and then see what was shaken out of that. Because the media is directly lying to us. They're running with their own narrative because they figured out that Trump has figured out how to talk to us and can bypass their lies, and they hate it. They have become null and void as far as any real information. So anyway, that was my little take on this. The ambulance chaser, Stormy Daniels, her credibility is shit. She's a porno queen. She's a paid-for pole dancer. And, she got her 130 grand. She just wants more money. That's what all these what they used to call them, gold diggers. She's nothing better than a gold digger. So, peace out, guys. Oh, how do you like my wig? Susie McMurray here in Casper and one of her girls, they're called the Angels, and they picked out a redhead for me. Well, actually, my husband wanted a redhead, so I went ahead and went with the redhead. It's pretty close to what my hair was laying like before I had chemo. But anyway, take that to heart, guys. They got another nothing burger, and they're going to run it. Just don't bother clicking on it, because you know it's full of bullshit. Sorry, today was my Monday as far as issues everybody's having in my little world. This one needs that, and this one needs that. So I've been on the phone all day long and off and trying to get this video done so that we can talk about this war on American patriots and conservative views. And the distractions were being force-fed by lame street media and TV talking heads that probably never had a practice in their life that's generated any money because they're such lousy lawyers. And anyway, my last one here is the fact that it's called The Fruit of the Poison Tree. I'm going to play lawyer here for a second. And I brought this up to one of my mentors who's been a 40-year litigator and won some very, very major cases. And even mine was a major case. It was going to have to be heard in front of the Supreme Court if the district court didn't rule in my favor. So we lucked out, and we had a good judge, and we put together a rock-solid case for property rights in Wyoming and grandfathering rights, should I say, property rights and grandfathering rights to full use and enjoyment of your property. Anyway, I should do a video about that. I'll have to, because I really, really want to give a big hands up to my attorney, Harry G. Bondi, 40-year practitioner. He's had some really huge cases from cell phones blowing up in people's pockets to military contracts and stuff. He's no slouch when it comes to litigation. Anyway, the media is doing, they want impeachment of Trump, and that's the ultimate goal, is to get him impeached. The Democrats let that out of the bag less than 2 hours after he won the election. Even before the election, they were saying impeach Maxine Waters. I really hope California wises up and fires her and Pelosi, Feinstein, Kamala Harris, Adam Schiff, all of those Democrats that are in California. They need to be gone. And you guys need a really good governor that will roll back some of these astronomical property taxes you guys are paying that is basically being funneled to liberal groups to work against your rights. And that's what they are, is they're liberal groups, pussy hat wearers and socialists and you know, everything they've accused us of being, and we're not the ones out burning cars down. Or tearing down American histories. And for 8 years, we didn't give Obama the grief that we're given to Trump in 1 year. It's just astronomically amazing. But anyway, that's what their plan is to keep everybody so off kilter that we're not noticing how many actual laws that are being broken on both sides. I mean, Lady Justice doesn't just have her eyes band-aid or bandaged. They've poked her eyes out and put duct tape over her mouth. And that's why you won't see too many real prominent lawyers that know what they're talking about on television. These are just rank amateurs at best. First and third year law students could probably kick the shit out of their case within 5 minutes. But Mueller's playing this really close to the chest, and I think he's letting some of this stuff go out there through these unnamed sources and made up media stories to get a feel for the public and to try to convince you that President Trump is destroying America when every day I would beg you to differ to find one promise that he hasn't completed. He's completed more promises than 6 last presidents. I mean, the guy is trying to tick him off the list here because he studied politics for a long time. He ran in those circles. I mean, him and Hillary knew each other, and I know he knows a lot more of them. And so he's had his eye on American politics since the 80s that I can remember when he was on Oprah Winfrey. And he hasn't changed his point of view just because he's a president. He saw that we were getting unfair trade, and he saw that our wealth was being drained. And he's trying to do something about it. It's our turn to help him once again. And that is by taking over as many Democrat seats as we possibly can to get a supermajority in the Republican House. So we can offset these fake rhinos that are in the Republican Party, because we can't get rid of them until 2018 or until 2020. Right now, there's only like 9 of them up, and pretty much all of them can go in my book because, except for Ted Cruz and Rand Paul and a couple of the other ones, but for the most part, a lot of those Republicans can go. All of the Democrats could go. Everybody from Schumer on down to Pelosi to Maxine Waters to Cory Booker to Elizabeth Warren to Bernie Sanders. These are the obstructionists. And they are so mad that all of these deals that they made on the pretense that Hillary Clinton was going to be president is falling through. And that's why you're seeing a lot of them jump ship. A lot of rats are jumping ship too, because once Jeff and this deal is over with the Trump deal, the Justice Department no longer has a chain around their ankle, and they can go after actual corruption. And these boys know it. And they're, you know, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the Democrats are the only criminals. There's just as many Republicans that are criminals too, and they're making their move right now. You can tell they're getting out of the business. And a lot of these CEOs of corporations have left, Hershey's. And if you look it up, you'll find at least 100 CEOs of very big companies are leaving their companies because when and if their crimes are discovered, the company's going to be liable for it. So, I mean, you need to pay attention to more than what the right hand is doing. While you're looking at it, the left hand is pulling the deeds. And that's what's going on. That's what media is doing. And that's what fake talking heads on these talk shows, Joe Scarborough and Rachel Maddow. And I mean, you want to see some flipped out people that talk on these shows? My God. And they say that's news. That's not news. It's all opinion based. There is not actual facts in 9/10 of what they're telling you. So anyway, wake up, America. Trump needs us. We need a supermajority in November. And then we can kick some powerhouse ass. And every day that another promise is kept, another shady deal comes out, they cover it with some bullshit story somewhere else. So be mindful of that. And check your facts. Don't leave it up to them to do their job, because media is not doing their job anymore. And that's why they want to shut all of us down, because a lot of us are pretty reliant on our research. We really dig into this stuff, and it's not just through the internet. It's through the library. It's through print articles. It's through periodicals. You want to know the real truth? Crack a book. Don't rely on media to force feed you. They're dazzle you with brilliance or baffle you with bullshit. So with that, I'll conclude this video, and I hope you like me. Hit like and leave a comment in my comment section. I always leave it open, even if it's derogatory. And you can follow me on Facebook under Judy Jones and Casper. I do a lot of posting there. I get in jail a lot too, but you know, what are you going to do about it? I'm just glad that PAI is in charge of the internet. Then eventually he'll get this straightened out too. And hopefully we can break up some of these monopolies, you know, whether it be Twitter or Facebook, and find other platforms that won't demonetize our videos or hide them from our followers. So with that, anyway, God bless you and God bless America. This is Amazon Jude signing off.